So, Soccer, I can't even spell that. So what time did you have you set, Brennald? 23rd evening, okay. Yeah. So multiplayer is on, still the same server as always. Let's have a look. There should be Brennald. Set as departure. Just going to switch around my peripherals for the general aviation, for the Cessna. Did you update the Cessna as well, Brennald? Just need to get my my thrust levers. So smart cars is running, that's good. Are you feeling better again, Brennald? Fantastic. Oh, how come? Oh. Okay. Yeah, this afternoon already, just to make sure that I remember. And let me just check where I am, and then now let's see. So, there we go. So let's have a look at the scenery then. There you are. Okay. Okay. Do you have payware? I did check it, so it should be... I'm pretty sure I checked all the airports, unless I didn't have it at all, so that could be a reason. Okay, so fuel is... Ooh, I think I need a bit more fuel. Let me just check. So Norway weather, you said, and you put that to evening then? Okay. 2030. Okay. Local time. I have a bit of snow, it seems. Okay. One thing I need to do though, let me just check something. I think, chat, can you hear Brenold? Let's see, because I think
Welcome aboard the
I've not
Captain Black Box
tried.
Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Only, okay, so I need to...
31 going for 40. Happy flying, Captain.
So let me see who that was. That was Flight Sim Dad. Thank you so much for the 31 months. That's really kind. Thank you. Yeah, so the reason why I can't hear Brenold yet on the stream is because I need to set the output from Discord to chat, wavelength chat. So Brenold, can you say something, please? Not yet. It doesn't show up. I need to set the second one as well then. And chat. Right, try again, please. It's not going through. How come? Yeah, I can hear you clearly. It's just because I have set the new to the yeah, new sensor. It's a wavelength I'm using, and let me have a look here. Yeah, but that's here in Discord. So I need to route Discord onto. I've got one more thing I can try. So let's go user settings, audio, and then output device. I'm going to put you to here. Okay, can you just say something again, please, to test?
Yes, Ted, can you hear me?
Now they should hear you.
It's better now, I hope.
There we go. Okay. Thank you much. Yeah, so it's literally just routing you through the right channel there. Okay, so that's all fine. Yeah, so here, V Chris, hello, nice to see you. That's what I want to test today, because when I was using Voice Meter, Potato, I had the issue with the RAM leak, so the memory leak.
Oh, okay.
So let's start the engines.
Podcast already running?
Yep. So Photochrome Max, hello to you as well. Danny, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Just need to make sure I'll dial down the game sound just a tad. Yeah, so Megas, thanks for the feedback. I'll try to boost up the general loudness settings. So hopefully it is getting better now. Okay, so did you program anything, Brenold, in the FMS?
Yes, I have programmed a little bit.
Okay.
Not
And
that much, but origin and destination airport, and then we go to runway 29 or so.
Mm-hmm.
The ANAF approach with no transition.
So we are going Echo November Sierra Romeo, or from Echo November Sierra Romeo, enter, and we are going to Echo November Hotel Kilo.
Yes.
And you said we fly the approach. So GPS 29 or?
No, Arnaf 9.
Yeah, so it's GPS Arnaf, the same thing here in the... And then transition Duppy or something else?
GPS and Arnaf?
Yeah.
It's
so
the same, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they call it GPS here in the...
Yeah, transition, good question. Let me have a look. We can use transition Duppy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I've got.
And then directly load, approach, and activate.
Yeah. All good. Ready to go.
Yes. So we will go runway 14 for takeoff, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Already starting taxi.
Yeah, me too. And is Jeremiah with us here, or?
It's behind you.
Nice, nice, nice. So... Okay, nice. A little bit of lighting here. Let's have a look.
In my scenery, the runway is even carved.
Oh, yeah, for me too. Yeah, it's like a S shape.
Yeah. But I have a lot of stutter here. Maybe it is from the scenery, but I don't know.
No, for me it's really nice and smooth. Really lovely.
No, for me not. It's like the simulator has kind of heartbeat.
Mm.
Every time the heart beats, the simulator stucks for a millisecond.
Mm. Did you install the latest NVIDIA driver, or?
No. I only change the NVIDIA drivers when it is really necessary.
Okay. So, no flaps required.
No flaps as always. For some aircrafts, the flaps generate more drag than lift. For this aircraft here as well. So it's better without.
Yeah. So cylinder head temperatures just coming into the green. Which altitude are we planning to fly? 4,000 or?
Let me have a look. 5,000, please.
Okay.
So, everyone ready? Then let's go.
Alright, mixtures full rich, props full forward. Ready. Hang on, sorry. Just need to check that, make sure that flight controls are working. There we go. Ooh, sounds are loud. Sorry guys.
Sounds are nice.
Yeah, but I think the game sounds are crazy high. Gears up. Beautiful scenery here. That's incredible.
Yeah, the evening light is very nice here. For me.
Yeah, also it's kind of springtime. So it's part snow covered still, but other parts are free. Which is really nice.
Yeah. Have you set the snow depth to 0? Like I said?
No, I quite like it this way because it does look realistic.
Yeah, I don't know if here is middle of the May, if here is still snow in real.
But I mean, if I look at, the mountains, so it's not completely snow covered, so it's quite large areas which is kind of melted snow. I like it. Yeah, the clouds, right? I was quite impressed with the first flight as well out of Stuttgart. So I'm gonna say about 2400 RPM, 35 inches manifold.
Okay.
Trying to keep
the
up
same.
with Reynolds, yeah. Yeah, I'm right behind you.
So now I inserted direct to the next waypoint and activated the nav mode.
So, Dupi, that is.
Yes. These 3 flights are 3 very short flights, so no one gets boring. But I think the landscape is worth to watch. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you are very close.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of DCS
Yeah,
formation
exactly.
flying here.
Exactly. So, let me see, direct. Activate. And GPS. Fantastic.
So already at 5,000 feet.
Yep, leveling off. Prop sync on.
Yep, prop sync on, exactly. So reducing RPM to 2,200.
Megas, did you try out the steering wheel yet? Man, but I swear, if I buy any more peripherals, my wife's going to really get upset. I've got so many joysticks and stuff all day. Nice. Oh, gorgeous.
What do you need a steering wheel for? Would you drive racing cars?
Well, Magus has a very nice steering wheel, so yeah, I know. But that will be not a good idea, Megas. Because I do find these racing, sort of car racing simulators also fascinating, but I know that I'm really bad at it, so...
Have you seen that the Flying Fabio has started with racing car streaming sometimes?
No, not seen it. I know that XP, so someone else in the US has started to stream. Jambo says it's up to iRacing. But the thing is that Jambo, the thing is this. It's very competitive, isn't it? So when you start out, you literally have zero chance of winning. And you need, if you want to really compete and win against all the other guys, man, you can just imagine lots of them have some cool setups, some really good hardware, and lots of experience, so...
That's the point, experience, and you need a lot of experience to win a race. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have to learn all the tracks. Yeah,
I'm going to climb to 6,000 because it's a bit too close for me to the mountains here.
Okay. So beautiful. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be the idiot that crashes into it and ruins it for everyone, right? Is there like, can you switch off collisions? Probably not.
not.
At least in racing, so...
Maybe first you should do an offline racing game.
Oh yeah,
like Assetto Corsa also, where you can drive against AI or KI drivers.
Yeah.
And when you're good at this, then you can do a multiplayer race.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your speed, please?
Actually, I'm at 170, but climbing actually to 6,000.
Okay, I'm on 5,200 knots.
Yeah, so it could be somewhat close. Alright, let's go and climb. Yeah, so definitely you would need to practice racing against AI first of all, and get to know all the courses. And then once you start winning against AI, I guess you can set different difficulty level with the AI, and then once you get fairly good at those, then you can start thinking about racing other people.
Maybe first you can start to practice the European Truck Simulator. Of course, it's a bit more easy.
The thing is, so I wonder, the people that are or have been live streaming flight sims for some time, so I see most of them starting to become more like a variety streamer. So I've even seen people stream shooter games or some other games. Do I know this? Yeah, sorry.
Mostly they do that to gather more viewers.
Yeah, so yes, I know Cyanide. Yeah, Amir. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. He's a nice guy. Yeah, Jumbo, just like flight simming, right? Flight simming can get very expensive as well. So that's normally the issue with these things. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did stream even. Yeah, these racing sims. Yeah. Yes, I was just mentioning that a lot of other live streamers have gone into streaming other stuff. Now I don't know. I think it's the motivation is because they got bored with just flying flight sims. For me, luckily, I don't get bored with the flight sims because I don't stream daily. So, when I have like 5 days off and go off work and then, I come back after 5 days, 6 days, a lot of stuff's happened. There's new sceneries, new aircraft add-ons or new updates, etc., etc. So, for me, there's always something new. I don't get bored of flying flight sims here on stream. You can also race against your ghost to improve your skills. But what about, what I see is that this, the car racing streams don't get that many viewers because I don't know how appealing it is for the viewers to watch. He was a car guy before aviation, just so you know. Okay, now I know. It depends. But Photocrow, I think, you know what? Maybe it does attract people if they watch someone that has an amazing kind of, setup. Maybe even, with moving chair, etc. So kind of the haptic stuff. So, Brent, at least here.
That moving chair also would be interesting for the flight simming.
I don't know. I've seen some of the setups, and it just seems too much action on the seat, really. I don't know, Brennell. I at least not for streaming.
Depends on the setting. You don't need to set up these chairs that aggressive. More kind of a bit lower. For the civil flying, for the fighter flying, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, these things are expensive, and then I would assume because it's hydraulic, they make noise.
Yes, they do.
And so when I move around and I try to press buttons, for this, applause or. I don't know. I don't know if I get sick or something. Racing and flight sim in Sims is the same. It's way cheaper than the real world. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for real world car racing, you need so many good sponsors. VR, the same thing, right? Because it's so fast. I don't know if VR is really a good idea in racing. Yeah, so Megas, I was just wondering, the steering wheel that you got, so the base mount, that has like a friction in it, right? So does it have like varying friction, like when you go faster you have to either put in more force on the wheel? Is that working like that?
Like what?
Yeah.
Quick reminder, we're almost at the top of descent.
Okay.
Descent to 2,500, and then we can do the RNAV approach mode.
Roger. I'll get the chart out in a minute. So let's go indicate airspeed, reduce the power a bit. Let's go back. Charts. We want so approaches. That's what I wanted, and then we want a GPS to RP 29. So there we go. So Dupi 5,000, then we go down to Hotel Kilo 402, 3,400, and then 2,500. So I'm going to put in 4,200 initially.
What? 200, really?
Well, until Hotel Kilo 403, and then after that, so we try to kind of. I mean, very close to that anyway, so we'll start slowing down. But so we don't bust those altitudes. It's based on electric motor that acts against your inputs. Ah, okay. So basically, dark drives don't have friction, but yeah, this one is steering. Yeah, what's the guy called in the US who's got lots of monster tech stuff? Nubifier. I mean, he has all that hardware stuff, like the gearbox, if you like, the gear shift. Yeah. Wow, that is really wow. I wonder, assuming he's not really sponsored big time, I wonder how much money he spent on all of that stuff. $3,000 just for one pedal. 3,000? Are you joking? Wow. No, I think I couldn't do that. No, my wife would not approve. No, I would get in trouble. Seriously.
As far I know, there are some professional car racers, sim car racers. They got sponsored from big companies like Red Bull, for example.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because, you know, they have influence, right? They're big influencers, really, so... They're the professionals. So, yeah, we need to descend here. Gears coming out. And then let's press the approach button. Alright, glide path is captured. The new shit is electric pedals from SimCube. They don't work mechanically, they simulate every force with motors. Are you kidding? Yeah, I know. Makes sense, yeah. Wow.
For me, I can't arm the approach mode. Don't know why.
Okay, so I just loaded the approach and then pressed approach, and that's it. Captured the glide path. Just need to slow down a bit now. Yeah, perfectly on path. Currently 4.5 miles, 1,800 feet. Yeah, perfect on path as well. Looking good. The thing is, I feel like it can be like an addiction, right? Where it just feels, you know, so good having those peripherals, and then, you know, you're wondering, but if I have, you know, those expensive pedals with that, you know, force feedback, whatever, man, yeah, you could get addicted to that. Right, many flights. Pedals prop full forward. And, oops, trying to trim the aircraft here. There we go. A bit more. Beautiful little airport. I always feel like the boats, they look like spiders or something. It looks really weird. I wonder if they ever fixed that.
What look like spiders?
The boats, you know, so like they have little, you know, thin legs like Weberknecht.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna stop. Need to stop. There we go.
We have a little bit tailwind in this approach here.
Okay.
But not very much.
Okay.
Maybe that's the reason for a runway overrun.
There's an add-on that fixes boats. Okay, I need to look for that. Every time I see that, it looks so strange. You see that? Look at that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's alive. It's
For me, the same here. Haven't seen this before.
So finish the flight, file the pirate. Set the parking brake. There you go. So pirate is filed. Then let's go. FFB pedals are nice concept. Strain gauge. to get the foot pressure and linear. Wow. All right, there's Reynolds. Looking good.
So, landed.
Is it better now with the FPS?
No. I had the same issue last flight, or yeah, I think the last flight was the Rentersat and so.
Okay.
And I got it fixed after restart the simulator.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to try it? Restart simulator?
No, that needs 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you said. You know, that's why, because your sims take so long to start. That also seems to be really weird.
I think I have too much sceneries and aircraft.
Well, I have lots of sceneries aircraft as well.
So, okay, next flight.
Yeah. So we're going to Alta.
Yes, this is an interesting approach.
Mm-hmm. So,
But I think you know it. We have been there times ago.
Yeah, but sometimes it's been such a long time ago. So let's delete the flight plan, and then we go from Echo November Hotel Kilo.
The Eagle has landed.
Well done.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
The approach we're going to fly?
We do the ILS 11, I think, but we will then do the circling to runway 29.
So ILS 11.
Yes.
And then the circling. Okay, cool.
It's short to midnight. I think I'll go to bed. Wish you a nice flight.
Yeah, thanks so much
really?
for joining. And yeah, sorry for that. It's getting so late again.
Oh, no problem. It was a pleasure for me.
Thanks for flying along.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night to you.
guys.
Yeah, good night, guys. All right, so then
Load.
I'll have a look. Map. There we go.
So, okay, direct on to the inertial fix.
Which one? Which one are you choosing?
What do you mean?
The inertial fix. Is it Octal or which are you?
Charlie Foxtrot 11. I haven't inserted a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will now program the frequency because the flight is very short.
Okay.
So frequency is 108.90.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay, it's already set. I only need to transfer. Very good. And the course is 109.
Okay.
109 is here. Okay. Cruising altitude will be 5,000.
Oh, Roger.
Okay, switch back to GPS. Nav mode on, vertical speed on 1500, and flaps up and trim back. So, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, ready.
We will take off in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Also from here. Let's go.
Yep.
You have started SmartCast?
Yeah.
Very good. I can't count anymore how often I forgot to set up SmartCast.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, but I'm not. So often I forgot it.
Yeah.
I think what you see from this ship here down here is the kind of the frame model The raw frame model.
Could be.
It's bugged.
Yeah.
I think it's bugged. So, oh, my box. That was very close.
Yeah, but you're so slow. I had to take up power as well.
I'm so slow.
Have you raised your landing gear?
Yes.
Okay. Just wondering. So let's go to autopilot on GPS, indicate airspeed, and let's climb.
Maybe have a look into the charts. Then you can see we have there are some approach lights.
But it's how many miles is it still?
It's 29 miles.
Right, we can see there's a discussion going on here.
Do you have the scenery from Aerosoft or
Yeah.
Alpha?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I have as well.
So there's discussion going on about regarding using flight sims. If you have two people learning in the flight sim and one person learns much faster and flies better than person two, that would for sure mean that person one will have it easier in the real airplane. Well, that's a tough one to really... The thing is, the problem is that there's a lot more to flying an airplane than just simple basic handling, so procedure handling, etc. So I always think that, at least that's my experience, procedure-wise, these flight sims are very good to, to get the procedures down and maybe get your brain into the right mindset regarding how fast the aircraft is traveling, how you distribute workload, that sort of stuff. But I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually been in a level D simulator in your life at some point. So let's say you've been flying lots and lots of A320 simulators on your PC, and then you get into the real cockpit. So let's say level D simulator, real dimension cockpit. And what normally happens is people get kind of completely flashed by how different it suddenly feels. So you smell the electronics, you hear that buzzing sound. There's so much more to to your perception than just looking at a flat screen, and that's the thing. So it usually takes a while for people to kind of get used to the surrounding and kind of shrug that off, and then start concentrating again on procedures, etc., etc. So
I talk a little bit from my experience, Black Box. As you know, I have a little bit of experience flying in the simulator.
Yep.
And in the last, I think 3 years, I got a friend with an airplane. You know him.
Yep.
And we flew around a lot. And of course, he let me have the controls and flying a little bit. And I can say from experience, it helps to have had experience in the flight simulator to controlling the stick and manual flying. It helps a little bit. But it's a bunch of difference between the reality and the simulator. At least approach, I wouldn't be able to land an aircraft, of course, because the influences of the air and the turbulent air to the aircraft is a lot different than in a simulator.
Yeah.
And it is again a difference if you are sitting in front of your screen and nothing can happen, and you sit in the aircraft and you can crash and you can die. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Also, be reminded, for example, for me, if I fly in the real aircraft, I am in a completely different mindset to what I'm doing here in front of, you know, the PC screen monitor. So like Brendan says, if you actually sitting, you know, if your butt sits in the real aircraft and you actually have the responsibility for all the lives on board and the lives outside, it's not comparable. It's just completely different. So again, procedure-wise, yeah, you know, it's good to practice, but when he's suddenly sitting in the real aircraft, it's a bit different. For example, racing, let's say car racing. Let's say you are very good at, you know, racing your simulator, car simulator, right? Now, imagine getting into the real car and then suddenly experiencing the G-forces that come with car racing. You know, the forces required to steer the aircraft, the car, and you know, it's different. It's just completely. It's a yeah. So. But yes, I will say, indeed. So let's say someone is practicing on a good car simulator and then goes into the real racing. Of course, he'll be more proficient and catch on quicker than someone that hasn't done that. Also, well, we are flying kind of IFR, so we are inserting procedures. So right now we are going to fly the ILS approach, and we are currently, let's put nav to 17.4. So that's ATA VOR, and we should get a DME reading if I put this to. Where is it? There.
So we're already close to the top of descent.
There we go, 19 miles. Yeah. And I think we already have the... yeah, that's the ILS DME, very likely. So, 109. And so Reynolds says we're going to fly the approach, followed by the circling. So I'm going to set the ILS. And the approach starts 5,000 at Octol, which we are just about to go now. Let's go on heading here. So I'm going to go heading, approach mode. I'm going to start slowing down. Come on, heading. There we go. So heading, and let's switch to VOR lock. So we got the localizer now receiving. I'm going to press the approach button here. So lock is armed, and now we descend 4,000 feet for the final intercept. Vertical speeds. Come on. Vertical speeds. Down we go. Oh, it did. Oh, you know what, Reynolds? That's something I noticed here as well. It does not capture the physical localizer.
Really? Yeah, it sometimes do, it sometimes do not. And the same with the RNP approach. I think 25% it captures and 27% not for me.
Yes, for me it's different. So the GPS seems to capture really nicely. So I've made sure that we are on VOR lock, so you know it's physically there. But yeah, it's not capturing the localizer at all. Yeah, so Cessna 414, yeah. Flight Sim, what's it called? Fly Sim Studios or something?
Flight Sim World, I think, or Flight Sim Studios. Let me have a look. It is Flight Sim Where.
Flight Somewhere, there we go, thank you.
Okay, for me it captured localizer and glide slope.
Okay, That's so strange, right? Because I mean, I have it 108.9. That's all correct frequency. It's showing up.
Do you have it in green on the left side?
Yeah. It's showing up on my HSI, but it's not capturing it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I don't know. We have had the same problems in one of our last group flights. We did a group flight with, I think, 3 or 4 Cessna 414s. 3-1 got it captured, and for me it not.
All right, let's go manual flight in this case. So what we're going to do is break off to the left and then circle around for the other runway.
What do you think is the circling altitude?
Let me check. For us, should be... We are Bravo, aren't we? So it should be 1,500 feet.
Okay. Are we Bravo?
I think so.
Not Alpha?
I think for the speed, probably more like Bravo. But maybe wrong. Like I said, I don't know exactly.
I don't know.
No, so heading, that's fine. If the heading is activated, the localizer is armed. Normally it'll switch from heading to localizer and then track the localizer. So that should work. Paypot, any shared cockpit flights? I am planning to do a shared cockpit soon with Lindley again in the Tollers. And then we'll do a test flight and then see how it works. And then the idea is to do a failure. But again, it's not to scare Mark. It's more to demonstrate kind of how to deal with a failure in a two-man cockpit environment. So kind of, you know, yeah, poor Mark. But he's getting used to it now with Chris. It's quite funny. So he's you know, he's not so afraid anymore. Yeah, and it's more like, again, it's a demonstration of how certain things would be handled, especially if it's complex abnormals, where you have lots of stuff to do, and then you get a better sense of how we pilots in the real world, we kind of, you know, handle these things, including the CRM, etc., etc. Yeah, I you know, let's put it this way, Aaron, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I honestly, I don't see myself as an expert regarding, you know, racing, and even when it comes to flight simulation, compared that to real world performance, you know, I've not met many people that literally had zero real world experience, but lots of flight sim experience, and then being put into the, you know, flight simulator, level D simulator, and then performing. I don't have any, you know, imperial data on that. So it's just going to be a discussion where we don't know exactly, you know, who's right, who's wrong. Yeah, Danny, exactly. And I think it's, you know, for me, for example, it would be nice then maybe to even show things like, right, you know, how would I talk to the cabin crew? How would I make an announcement to the passengers? Knowing that in a shared flight, I can handle, or I can hand over controls and etc. to, you know, to the person I'm flying with. So, okay, we're going to circle here. Flaps are out. Full gears down to 3 green. Yeah, I do have add-on linker Photochromax. The thing is, for me, I think I'm just not strict enough when it comes to using it. You know, you really have to use it every time, and then literally think about what airports you need and really deactivate everything else. I think for now I have lots of add-ons which I bought through the store, and they're actually in the community folder itself, so in the Microsoft community folder. So I will need to take those out and you know, and then link them every time I start the sim, etc. So we'll see.
Yeah, but then you get problems with updating the sceneries.
Yeah, it's more a hassle because you need to download it again, and yeah, so it is a little bit less convenient.
Yeah, in the Microsoft Store about add-ons in the add-on linker is difficult and gets some problems.
But it's doable. I mean, you know, it's not saying that it's not doable, and it just requires discipline. What's the best GA that you've ever flown? Never tried things like Kit Fox. What, in real life or in the sim? The thing is, so for example, I tried some helicopters here in Microsoft, and the weird thing is, I got the same, pretty much the same add-on in X-Plane 12 with the Airbus. Was it 135 or 145? And believe it or not, the same, literally the same issues that I have in Microsoft Flight Sim regarding the flight feel is currently still present in X-Plane 12. So you can see that X-Plane 12 is not quite there yet when it comes to aerodynamics, etc., etc. So still lots of work to be done on both sims, not just Microsoft. Yeah, so Danny, what I always find interesting, Danny, is when you do an abnormal, and we do that in real life as well, in the simulator, for example, when you have a complex abnormal, and you go through it in real time, as if you would do that in real life, and then afterwards, you do the debriefing. And it's interesting to then hear how, for me, for example, how my first officer felt. How he felt regarding workload, how he felt regarding my my leadership, etc., etc. And then you get kind of that feedback. And it's always interesting. It's because it's so dynamic sometimes, and you don't have time to express much of your feelings, you know, when everything's going, you know, really hectic. So you know, afterwards in the debrief, it's really interesting to hear that. Yeah, Danny, so not only do you have the instructor, so not only the instructor gives you feedback, and you have to realize when you do your flight sim check rides, everything is graded, everything. So there's like 9 different areas that are being graded, including manual flight, autopilot usage, leadership skills, communication skills, you know, lots of stuff. So, and then of course the instructor, who has a good overview from the observer seat, you know, he'll give you, of course, a clear feedback, and he's got lots of experience in that as well. And then, of course, you want to hear what the first officer thinks, right? Or if your first officer, what the captain thought about your work. So definitely tremendously important. Yeah. Just slightly low, it seems. Although the picture looks alright. I'm not sure why the poppies show full red. Because, you know, from the visual, I would say I'm on path. But
Yeah, I don't know what the degree is here. Maybe it's a little bit steeper.
yeah, that could be.
3.7 degrees.
Ah,
That's the reason.
makes sense. Oh, I would need to practice a lot more on these aircraft. Blimey.
Have you already landed?
Yep, just touched down. Where are you parked?
I'm at the holding line for
Okay.
the next takeoff.
Okay, so yeah, I would be up for another flight, no problem. Don't know when you have to get up tomorrow.
I have to get up tomorrow, but I will do the next flight.
Cool. Almost center line. Don't be cruel. Photochrome access. Well, I could say I got PPL with the Cessna 172 carburetor, but once I tried the C172R, it ripped. Okay. So Photochrome Max. Then, what's your feedback? So, what's your take on the way Microsoft Flight Sim feels, especially when it's a little bit windy or something, compared to the real aircraft? Because again, I don't have, I can't say regarding Cessnas at least. Okay, so Brennan, I can't see you. Have you?
Let me have a look where you are. You're over there. I'm on the holding point here for the runway 29er takeoff. Maybe you have to taxi to me, to the other direction.
Oh, you already turned around. Ah, didn't see you turn around there. All right, taxiing up.
So, next flight.
Jeffrey, hello to you. Fast taxi. Flight plan filed. Next flight. So we are flying to Hammerfest. Oh, nice.
Yes, there's an interesting approach as well, because we do a downhill landing.
Any flights into Birmingham soon? I've just been to Manchester, but Birmingham, I don't. No, not this month. Well, I've got standby duty still, but not this month. No.
Cruising is 4,000 this time.
Set. I can't see you, Brennel. Where are you? Holding point?
Yeah, holding point for runway 29.
Can you see me?
1 second.
Yeah, okay, so photochrome.
No, I don't see you anymore. Yeah, you are at the end of the runway. I'm at the holding point. That's the difference.
Okay.
But I will come to you.
All right. So oh, connection lost. It says. That's interesting.
Yeah, but maybe it will return in a few seconds. Hopefully.
So let's have a look. Let's try that. Okay,
so now I'm taxiing along the runway, your direction.
Weird. It says offline for me for some reason. Multiplayer's on. It's not the. Oh, there we go. It reconnected successfully. Cool. All right. Should be back.
Are you prepared?
Starting smart cars. Fly. Start. Yep. Ready.
And the little flight plan?
Yep. Also, oh no. Hang on. Back. So.
Maybe you can't see me because I can see you flying, hovering over the runway in maybe 8 meters.
Ah, okay. So difference in scenery. Okay. So
maybe
what approach are we doing in Hammerfest?
Yeah, RP22 with transition Advor.
Yep, set. And we go direct to Antwerp, I guess.
So almost ready to take off.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, take off and then turn right.
Roger.
Flaps up.
Mm-hmm.
You. Then let's go.
Danny asks, thanks for info. As you enjoy teaching things and like explaining things, would you being such an instructor? Yeah, sure. Yeah. I would have loved to be an instructor. The only issue is because you have so many simulator sessions, you would need to be at your airport where you have the training facilities, and in my case that would be Frankfurt. So we already tried to live near Frankfurt and my wife wasn't happy there, so I don't want to blame it on her, don't get me wrong. It's just I understand her because she's been living in Bremen all her life, and her whole family, friends, everyone is here. So that's why we moved back after initial, like 3 or 4 years down near, almost 5 years. We came back to Bremen. Yeah, it's a lovely plane. Absolutely, greetings. But otherwise, yes. Otherwise, I would have really loved to be an instructor. Because I think they do an amazing job. So the responsibility that they have with that job, but being able to really form, a fresh pilot, and just make sure that they get to a certain level that's required, and then when you achieve that must be very satisfactory. Yeah, this is a really good add-on. If you like GA flying, this is definitely something I would recommend. Got lovely texture. Yeah.
When you retire, then don't think about to be a flight instructor for GA pilots, because then you are stuck in the traffic pattern over one airport.
Yeah.
I know one person who is a flight instructor, and he almost does nothing else than traffic patterns with the students.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for younger people, like to gain some flight hours, gain experience, or log some pilot and command hours. But yeah, I see the same. It's not for me. 4,000 feet, there you go, and 44 miles it says. Yeah, so the when you become a instructor, pilot, or captain, well, there's also instructor first officers, so training first officers, and they will even give you some simulator instructions, but that'll be normal operations. So that's already something you do as a first officer. But obviously, then the main training, especially for captains, is done by instructor captains, and you start off obviously at the lowest level, where you mostly do simulator training for FOs and new captains, and then as you gain experience and you gain more certificates, you then get upgraded where you'll do some line training with new FOs and captains, and then landing training. And then the biggest kind of step at the end is training new training captains. So that's kind of the the creme de la creme at the end. So in my career, I've literally only come across, let's say from 100 flight instructors that I've come across, maybe 3 were bad, in the sense that for me they had the wrong mindset. They were just not the right people, with the right character to be in that position. But like literally 97% of all of the instructors were absolutely incredible people, and I learned so much from them, and I owe them so much as well. So it's really personal. It's not just you learn something. It's something you feel their passion of trying to teach you and trying to get you to a higher level in experience and in your abilities. And aviation, especially as an airline pilot, it has so many different areas where you need to be proficient in. It's always been very fascinating and very rewarding as well. And again, I have highest respect for these training captains.
And how do you get a test pilot? Or become a test pilot?
So test pilot in a sense like Airbus has. Brandon, do you mean like?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if your airline has test pilot as well.
We do, very rarely, and you would have to do special training. There was a documentary at some point, test pilots in the military, for example, or even civil. They can literally fly any aircraft. so they have to study that. It's like a university study.
Oh, okay.
So it goes over many years, and they have to learn everything about aerodynamics, different aircraft types, styles, different automation styles. Wow, that is something very few people are able to do. Yeah, so there's test pilots for they just simply test already completely built and tested aircraft. So they just test the aircraft for system behavior, make sure the systems behave as they should be according to the book. And then you have test pilots that test a completely new aircraft. So imagine you're going into an aircraft that has only been tested in computer models or in aerodynamic models in a wind tunnel. And then you go out and fly this aircraft in real for the first time.
Yeah, this must be very exciting.
Yeah.
And how's it when you give your aircraft into a big maintenance? I think I don't know the letters where they completely demontage this aircraft and check everything and put it again together.
Yeah.
I think the first flight do a test flight as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have what we call Werkstattpiloten. So these are like maintenance pilots, which have special training as well, and they fly together in a kind of combination with captain, first officer, and engineer or maintenance engineer. So they have all different expertise in the cockpit, and then they go test everything exactly according to the books. So these go on for hours. And they test stall warnings, they test hydraulic failures, all kinds of stuff, manual gear extension, everything. If that has been or if it has been such a big maintenance status. So yeah, definitely, that's exciting as well. I've done that on the 737 when I was a first officer. So, for example, I did manual reversion flying in the 737. So what would happen, for example, we would proceed to Hamburg, and then in Hamburg they had the 737 maintenance there, and they would do a big maintenance D check or something, and then what they do is they have to re-trim the balance tab, so the little tabs at the elevators and ailerons, to then when the hydraulic fails, and it's just simple aerodynamics that the elevators and ailerons don't suddenly are deflected, by a certain degree. So what happens then we get the aircraft, we take off, we go over the North Sea, and then we would deactivate the hydraulic, and then you have manual reversion. And I remember that sometimes you would have quite a big jolt initially when the hydraulic then stopped and the balance tap took over. You had a fairly big force on the elevators, let's say, and then you had to retrim the aircraft manually, and you would check how big the trim change was. Right, then you fly back, you land. The maintenance guys would then adjust that balance tap again, according to your data. Then you take off again, and you would do this like 3, 4, 5 times until it's perfectly correct. So this could take all day.
That sounds like an interesting job.
The thing is, again, there is that, so sometimes, for example, I get sent, an example, last week, I was flying on a day trip. So I flew to Zurich, back and forth, and I was supposed to fly to Bergen and back again. So 4 flights. When we landed at Frankfurt out of Zurich, I got a telex saying that change of plans, you and your first officer are going to go and fly as a passenger to Berlin, and you're going to pick up an aircraft there. So there was a 320 Neo that had an engine problem in the morning. They had an issue with the pressure, oil pressure sensor, and so they had to cancel the flight, repair the aircraft, and then we had to ferry it back to Frankfurt to get it back into the rotation. And
empty.
So, yeah, empty, exactly. So we get sent there. I always find this interesting, right? Because it's completely out of the norm. You just fly there, and you get driven to an aircraft that's completely empty. Although there sometimes, for example, you have to be careful. So for me, for example, it still had the catering on board from the morning. It just had no passengers. So I have to then check the cargo holds, I have to check the fuel, I have to check the catering to determine what weights are still on the aircraft, because that then will have quite a big influence on the trim of the aircraft. So it's a bit different to what you normally do. So you have more responsibility regarding, the aircraft status. But then it's fun. I mean, you do all that, and then you get your load sheet, and you've got a flight plan, and then you just take off. And for me, I have to check the cabin as well. So I have to make sure that everything in the cabin is secure. So I have to go to the back galley, check the toilets, check the make sure all the carts are completely latched. Because there were some incidents in the back in the past where a trolley in the rear of the aircraft may get loose, and then upon landing, when the pilots slow down the aircraft, that trolley would actually then slam into the cockpit door. All kinds of stuff already happened there. So, and then of course the performance is completely different. Well, the clank. I mean, I know exactly. I was just waiting for someone to ask. Are you going to do talk or takeoff?
It's a rocket, right?
we let's put it this way. When I was a first officer, that happened more often, right? These days, we get told not to do so because these aircraft are tremendously powerful. So if you've got a 320 Neo empty, let's say at 47 tons, and you put that into Toga, trust me, this aircraft is like a racing car. You'll feel G-forces and pitch and power values that you don't normally see, and that can cause different issues. So that's why we don't really do it, right? I'll give you an example. That was not a ferry flight. That was just a flight with very few passengers on a shuttle flight in the 747 a long time ago. I'm not sure if I already told that story. So the captain I was a young first officer of the 747 back then, and the captain said, hey, you know what? How about we do a toga power takeoff? And I was like, oh yeah, great idea, right? So I was pilot monitoring, and the aircraft, instead of weighing like 400 tons, it was only weighing 260 tons. And these engines are there for a reason, and they are that powerful for a reason, and that is to get 400 tons into the air. And then even with the engine failure at V1, and so you have the remaining 3 engines still having enough power to get you in the air, right? So putting that into a toga power setting is not really the best idea. And it literally, it was so powerful. I just recall where normally you would have, takeoff power set or thrust set, 80 knots. It just takes ages. V1, rotate, right? It just takes like 60 seconds or, even more. And then suddenly, when you have that at such light weights and then toga power, it's like thrust set, 80 knots, V1, rotate. No joke. It is DCS. It's scary. So I remember that we had a pitch limit 20 degrees, and so the aircraft was a 20-degree pitch, and it accelerated. It was that powerful.
Black Box, don't forget to approach. We are almost there.
Yeah. So let's descend.
I think when you think a 777 has 2 times 100,000 horsepower, then you can imagine how fast this can accelerate when it's empty.
Yeah. And of course, it's always, the pilots are, of course, somewhat intrigued by these kind of, settings, but you've got to be careful with that. You really do.
There have been 2 pilots some times ago which has to ferry an empty aircraft, and they did some stunts with the aircraft, leading in a crash.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst case, right?
That's the very worst case.
We're doing the RMP, correct? The RMP 22 or something?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to go down to 3,000.
Oh, this time I could press the approach button. Let's have a look if this will descend this time.
So let's do that. Glide path is armed.
Be careful, this time the runway is very short, or real short, and it's downhill.
Yeah. Oh,
and downhill generates a very different picture for the eyes. Looks like you are very low, but you aren't.
So this time, even though I am on, I saw, hang on, so there we go. Yeah, so this time I'm actually missing the glide slope here. I just want to got the gear down. The runway inside.
I mean, the glide slope indicator is there, but it doesn't travel down. I think you're already way too high.
But from the picture, it doesn't really look that. So currently it says I'm 7 miles out. So 7 miles should be around about 2,800. So actually 6 miles. Oh! Engine failure?
What? Really?
Right, left engine's out. Feather.
Is the fuel empty?
Oh my god, yes it is.
feather your props.
Yeah, I have. One flaps up again. So left is feathered. Oh my god.
You will do it.
Well,
Gear up and retract the gear in the last second.
yeah, it's probably a good idea. And I'm trying to see if I can trim the rudder a bit more. Trying to center that ball. Oh yeah, to feather, I keep forgetting, I need to put that, oh no, that's the wrong one. There we go, now feather it. Because that's the thing, because in my hardware, I can't feather it completely, so I need to do that in the sim.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin?
So now just hope I don't run out of fuel
Premium flight entertainment will be served.
for the other engine.
Thank you.
Do you have the flaps down?
BB 711.
Well, I put them up 1 notch, so it's currently...
Yeah, put them up. Better.
Well, I'm alright, I'm keeping
Don't
speed.
generate much lift.
Yanlop, thank you so much for the 23, almost 2 years. Right, let's keep fingers crossed. Oh, now it's feathering, look at that. Cool, okay, got it feathered. Fantastic. Alright. Could add a little bit more rudder. The thing is, I can't reach down to trim the rudder. So, gears coming out again. 1000 checked. Prop sync off, obviously. So we're almost there. Almost there. Let's see if we can... Well, now it's going to behave on the ground regarding... Reynolds said it's a short runway, so we need to just kind of touch down immediately after the threshold.
Yeah, it's not very short, but it's a bit short.
We made it.
Fantastic. Exciting stuff at the ending.
Oh, well, I thought, you know, if one engine runs out of fuel, what are the chances that the other one runs out of fuel shortly as well?
Yeah, I had the same issue some months ago as I was in approach to Australia. 10 miles before the runway, one engine died.
Okay.
And 200 meters or 500 meters before the runway, the second engine died.
Oh no, that's bad luck. The weird thing is, we talked about this though just before departure. I thought, oh, I need to add some fuel, and I don't know if I read the chat or something, or there's Reynolds. Gonna go let's clear the runway for you. Nicely done. Nice. Whew.
Very good.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well done.
That was completely not planned. That really caught me ice cold. Look at the fuel values there.
How many fuel do you have on the right side? On the other side?
pretty much the same as on the left side. Pretty much nothing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Danny, that's a good input. Yeah, I did see that. Bruno sent me the link to the video, and so my first reaction was, okay, how can you land without clearance and with a warning from the tower that the wind is out of limits? At least it's balanced, yeah. So I was like, well, they would get into so much trouble. But then Bruno showed me a company kind of procedure for them, for Binter, and for Madeira. And for the pilots, they are actually allowed to land without clearance. So the company allows that. However, the thing for me is, what if something goes wrong? What happens to the pilot? If anybody gets injured or anything, in the aircraft gets damaged, I don't know what your legal situation would be. Yeah, Fuse Aviation, yeah.
You also don't have the scenery for beautiful Hammerfest Airport.
Oh, come on. I did activate something.
Yeah, maybe it's a freeware one, but I have the payware one.
Yeah.
Because it's very beautiful and it's a really nice airport.
Yeah. I remember this airport because this is the one where I took off, and I tried, I think his buddy probably told me again to try a barrel roll or something, and then I flew inverted, and then I almost crashed. It was like I just recovered 5 feet over the water.
Yeah, I remember this because we have been here years ago with the Dash 8.
Yeah.
Landed with the Dash 8 here.
Yeah.
And with the Dash 8, it is a very difficult landing because it's very short for a Dash 8.
Yeah. So,
but we didn't land it downhill then.
Okay, so in the left tank I only had 3 liters, so it's 3.79 liters, and the right one I have 10.47 liters, so not completely empty. The maximum value you can put in is 389 liters in each side. So just to give you an idea.
How many do your engine run with 13 liters? 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Maximum.
5 or 10, so it was a close one. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alrighty. But that was very interesting.
Yeah, good thing you didn't need to swim.
Yeah, so we did... actually, was it last stream or the stream before that? Someone dared me to switch off an engine. So I remember the feathering of the engine or the props.
Mm-hmm.
So
and some aircraft is really difficult to fly with one engine out because it has a very big what's the word? Put the aircraft to one side.
Yeah, the yaw moment. Yeah.
Yaw, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to put everything Pete covers. Let's have a look. Right, that was really enjoyable. I loved it, as always. So,
yes, almost done, Black Box.
Yeah.
Almost.
How many legs? Like 5 more or something? Maybe 6, 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, there we go.
8 until end. And we will do after the last airport, we will do a final flight with a bigger plane.
Nice.
I will tell you when it is the time.
Nice. Yeah, so Dan, exactly. So he said your own responsibility. So again, that's just a thing you have to fully understand. And it's not as if they're saying like, you're outside of your normal operational hours. Like I was flying to Salzburg. No, he says that the wind is so strong and out of a direction which causes so many issues in Madeira and the approach that it doesn't make sense for you to land. And so to give him the clearance, you're not clear to land from my side. So the tower says you're not clear to land from my side. The runway is clear, but you're not cleared to land, from a legal standpoint from me. So it's on your own responsibility. And the pilot lands because the he doesn't get into trouble with his company. And it seems like obviously they would already try to get that licensed. So legally, if nothing happens, then the pilot doesn't get into trouble. It's weird. I didn't expect that to be there either. So, but that's the thing. Control should always give the pilots the option and clearance to land unless the airport is closed, though. Legal approach to the yeah. So the tower controller has to make sure, obviously, that the runway is clear. Mr. Approach sector is clear, from a certain standpoint. The runway condition is such that you could safely land. But yes, so the pilot has to adhere to his own SOPs and his own limitations, aircraft limitations, and operational limits like wind. For example, let's say you have 50 knots crosswind. The airport doesn't close because maybe there's an aircraft that's allowed to land in 50 knots crosswind. So it's up to the pilot still to decide whether or not that limit, is acceptable or not. But yeah, but at some point they will close a runway or an airport. Yeah. The same thing with thunderstorms. So let's say you have a thunderstorm right over the airfield, and they will not normally close the airfield for landing unless it's like really severe, right? So the pilots will still have the option to land if they think it's doable. It doesn't make sense really, but Yeah, Danny, that's exactly it. Yeah, Brendel, thanks so much. Sorry, they got fairly late again. Yeah, thank you so much. Lots of fun as always. Yeah, we'll see you. I've got another couple of days off work, so.
Okay, yeah, maybe we can do another flight next days.
Yeah, sure, we'll do.
Okay.
Okay, Brendel. Good night to you. Yeah.
Flight was nice. Bye bye.
Take care. Good night. Right, let's see if there's any more questions here. Yeah, V-Chris, thanks so much. And Magus, thanks for looking at the stream today. Thanks for the feedback, Magus, as well. Yeah, I'll look through that and see on the video on demand. Yeah, exactly. So Roderick, exactly just what I've been saying. Yeah. Yeah, Pot, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for the support. And I'll be back tomorrow evening. So schedule says, tomorrow evening, 1700 UTC. Actually, Friday, not tomorrow. So Friday evening. And hopefully I'll be able to showcase another lovely new feature in the FSI panel, which I know a lot of people will really like. So the development there is going on really well, really nicely. So nice. Thank you so much, everyone. See you again very, very soon. Take care. Stay safe. Good night.